I'm gonna take down this world boss so easy. You just start using your skills, and eventually your hands will glow. That's when you use crystal frags. Don't use your ultimate yet. Keep casting your skills, get some shields. Got those glowing hands. Running out of Magicka, time to use my staff. And look who's got summoned. Time to break out the ultimate. Palpatine hands. And that's how it's done. The Sorcerer has definitely evolved a lot over the years. For veteran players, this is a throwback build. For new players, this is a very easy build to make. I set it up on purpose to make it as easy to put together as possible. Both your main sets are craftable. The monster set comes from one of the easiest veteran dungeons in the game. And Oaken Soul is really the cherry on top, but you can make do without it. If you want to start from nothing and have fun in the game as a sorcerer, this is a great way to do it. Thanks for joining me. Let's dive in. The skills you just saw me use all come as you level the sorcerer. There's no obscure quests to do, nothing out of the way or out of the ordinary. Regenerative Ward is your shield. I kind of just like the way it looks with this swirling stuff by your feet and how it gives shields to your allies as well. Twilight Matriarch is what makes this build into a healer. You can keep a whole Battlegrounds or Trials team alive with just this bird. I have a mixed relationship with this monkey. Volatile Familiar, I mean, he's strong, but boy is he ugly. Crystal Fragments is your secret sniper. When your hands glow, you smash that thing. Unstable Wall of Elements, it's called Storms when you have a lightning staff. This is great for both damage over time, area of effect, and also when it ends, it does a pretty considerable amount of shock damage, even more if you crit. For your ultimate, I love Power Overload. Atronach is probably the stronger choice, but for this build, for this identity, I love the Palpatine hands. As you saw in that demonstration, your rotation basically consists of making sure your barrier is always up, making sure your monkey's damage over time is going, and recasting Wall of Storms. You don't need to worry about recasting it because every time it ends, it does considerable damage, and you want to keep it moving with your target. Also, recasting it does give you Crystal Fragments in its instant and powerful form, as does casting all your other skills. And over time, your building ultimate, Power Overload, is a little strange because you can use it even when you have a very small amount of ultimate. I tend to wait till I have 200 ultimate or more so I can really enjoy that Force Lightning fantasy to the fullest. And then whenever you do run out of Magicka, don't be afraid to use your heavy attack on your lightning staff because that will summon your Daedrith from Mob the Infernal. As far as your passive skills go, it's really easy yet again. Everything in Dark Magic, everything in Daedric Summoning, everything in Storm Calling, everything in Destruction Staff, everything in Light Armor, which is all you're using, and everything in Dark Elf skills. You may want to do the Undaunted skill line to get Undaunted Metal, in which case you'll also want Medium and Heavy Armor. But the whole point of this particular build is that you don't have to go into all of that min-maxing endgame stuff. It's powerful enough as is, and this makes the game so accessible to new players while fulfilling a nostalgic niche for those of us who've been around for the long haul. While you're leveling, I recommend a training lightning staff, full light training gear. My favorite way to level these days is just doing the dolmens here in Auridon. There's usually a pretty big crew doing it, and you get elegant jewelry from the elegant set as you do that, and that's good enough, honestly. Once you do get to level 50 and unlock CP, I really do recommend doing Banished Cells 2 on veteran mode to get the Mob the Infernal set. This will most likely require the help of veteran players who you can find in a guild or even just in zone chat. They'd be happy to help you get this piece. Banished Cells 2 veteran is honestly not that hard either. That's why I chose this monster set partially, and also just because it's so cool to get a third pet, even though he does disappear after 15 seconds. So on your head and your shoulders, Mob the Infernal. On your staff, Julianos. You're going to have 5 pieces of Julianos, that makes 2. Another piece of Julianos in your chest, and for the remaining armor pieces, I chose Twilight's Embrace because I'm only using 4 pieces. You may want to switch this out if you don't use Oaken Soul and you want to use a 5-piece, but for 4 pieces, this checks all my boxes. Magicka, crit chance, weapon and spell damage. I love it. Chef's kiss. Your necklace is Julianos, that's 4 pieces now. Last piece of Julianos is on the ring. This is a great set, gives you crit chance, Magicka, crit chance again, and then 300 weapon and spell damage. Both of these sets, Julianos and Twilight's Embrace, are craftable. Twilight's Embrace is base game, Julianos is Orsinium. All of this is available to all players, whether you're ESO Plus or not. Same goes for Mob the Infernal. The only place this theme gets broken is with the Oaken Soul Ring, which I just personally love. It's from High Isle. You can buy that DLC. You can get ESO Plus for a month, however you do it. If you don't have Oaken Soul, things change a lot. You probably want a different set for the 5-piece. And then as far as skills go, you're going to put a lot of passive skills in there on your back bar. So things like Bound Armor, Lightning Form, Weakness to Elements, also Surge, all these things will be going on your back bar. But again, I highly recommend Oaken Soul for a variety of reasons, especially for new players. It makes the game so much easier, so much more accessible, makes you so much stronger without having to switch back and forth between bars. For those who are used to games like Diablo or games where there aren't multiple bars, this is a lot easier to understand. But again, no Oaken Soul. Get those abilities that give you extra buffs and put a restoration staff on your back bar. Running through the traits and enchantments for all your gear. On your staff, Nirnhoned is probably the best. You can also do Sharpened, combined with, I like the Prismatic enchantment, but really any enchantment will do here, take your pick. On the armor, Divines. Max Magicka is probably the best, but Prismatic also works. On the jewelry, I tend to go with Infused and weapon and spell damage. Bloodthirsty, Prismatic, that works here too. The consumables I like personally are Bewitched Sugar Skulls and just the basic Crown Tri-Restoration Potion. Otherwise, you can buy a Tri-Restoration Potion in the shop or craft them yourself. Put all 64 of your stat points into Magicka, and I think probably the best in slot Mundus Stone is the Thief, but these are fun to play around with. I might even try the Lover at some point for extra penetration. The Mage is a good choice too. On to the champion points. In Warfare, your active skills are going to be Wrathful Strikes, Untamed Aggression, and Arcane Supremacy are the 3 musts. And I really like Occult Overload because it makes mobs explode, but if you don't want to do that, I'd recommend Master at Arms. In terms of the passives, just get them all as you can, but the most important ones are Precision, Tireless Discipline, and Eldritch Insight. Your active skills in the Warrior are Siphoning Spells, Celerity, Rejuvenation, and Boundless Vitality. Again, just get all the passives, with the most important being Hero's Vigor, Sprinter, and Tumbling. In the craft tree, a lot of these active skills, if you're on PC, they already are passives, or they're about to be on console. Just keep that in mind. Right now, my actives are Rationer, Warmount, Gifted Rider, and Steed's Blessing, but none of this really matters in combat anyway. Get all the passives as you can. The only combat relevant one is Breakfall. The sorcerer that's currently my main is something like the late stage postmodern deconstruction of this basic premise that's been in the game from the very beginning. Aside from the Oaken Soul Ring, nothing has changed about this build since, say, 2015, whenever Orsinium came out. And while I really like everything that's happened in ESO, all the changes the game has gone through, all the different attempts at balancing, I think it's really fun to go back to the roots and to keep in mind that the game is becoming more and more focused and oriented toward new players who are often overwhelmed by all the systems that have come into place as the game has expanded with all of its DLCs. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by ESO, either as a veteran player who's tired of everything being an ironic recreation of itself, or a new player who just can't really grasp all of these changes that have taken place over the course of a decade, I hope you'll find the same sense of refreshing relief that I do in this sorcerer. And just wait till you hit a mob with a perfectly charged up critical crystal fragments. One hit KO, the thing just turns from a red outline to a yellow outline instantly, and you go pick up the loot. It's powerful. Is it meta? No, not exactly. It is true to the sorcerer class identity like really no other build is. It's fully classic, fully ready to go for both new and veteran players alike. If you have any critique of the build, please don't be afraid to leave it. Any feedback of the video as well. If you like the build, please do show that with a like on the video, subscribe to my channel, and consider becoming a member of the Spopes Army. My website, Spopes Sector, is up and running, and make sure to hit the alert bell so you never miss a Spopes video. Thanks for joining me as we explore this build. God bless you for watching. See you next time.